Okay, Dr. Dan Yachter, the chiropractor for news, views, and weekly updates. I'm going to go ahead and jump in. I'm also going to try to share this to our group. So, give me just one moment. Just trying to do some technical work here. And we're going to get this brought over to um, our private group as well. Let's see if I can pull this off. Give me just one moment. We're going to go ahead and jump in. Okay, here we go. I think I'm going to be able to pull this off. Here we go. All righty. Fantastic. All righty. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to do something. Hey, CC, good to see you there. I'm going to take the time today in this segment of Dr. Dan's news, views, and weekly updates and really focus in on the immune system. We're going to backtrack to a few weeks ago, coming off of the masterclass dealing with building a titanium immune system. And we're going to really a review for many who were there. We're going to talk about some of the strategies you can do to support, nurture, nourish your immune system, especially with the flu season coming up, September, October, November. Certainly, a lot of people start, they get the sniffles and sneezes and coughs, fevers, all that stuff, runny noses. How do you really build a titanium immune system? How do you nurture your immune system? And it starts with understanding the inner workings, the different components of your immune system. And if you do, there are certain specific herbs, vitamins, food, whole food sources that you can bring in that will specifically support different dimensions of your immune system. So we're going to hone in on that right now. We're going to talk about it briefly. I'm not going to take the whole amount of time. At least I don't plan on taking a whole half hour to do it. But I'm going to go and jump in. And what I'm going to do is you'll be able to see this if you are part of our private group, My Family, My Mission. If you're not, go there and join. Get a couple of thousand people in there. And every week, every day, I'm putting and posting resources into that group, My Family, My Mission. And I'm going to take the graphic that I'm going to be discussing, that you're going to kind of have to use a little bit of theater of the mind to track with me. It'll be there. I'm going to make a screenshot of it and put it into the private group so you could go back and refer to it. But just to kind of understand, again, how do you steward your immune system well? How do you support it well? And just because you support it well doesn't mean that you're not going to have symptomatic expression, but it could mean that you're going to be able to get through it quicker. Whatever challenge or battle that you experience, you're probably going to get, if you're building a floor, a reservoir of nutrients, really nourishing your immune system in your body all along the way, chances are when you experience a challenge, you're going to be able to pull out of the tailspin much faster. And that's really what this segment is about. So let me go ahead and break down the three immune systems that we have. We don't just have one, we have three primary ones, and then how to nurture them. And how do you really build them up? How do you build the titanium immune system? How do you build your immune system like a muscle? So let's go ahead and get started. Let's dive in. So what we talk about each and every year when we do our masterclass on immune system strengthening is three immune systems. The first one is the external barrier. The second one is the innate inborn immune system. The third immune system is the acquired or adaptive immune system. The innate immune system is the immune system that we're born with, or we're given this immune system by our moms. While we're gestating, growing, developing, through breast milk, colostrum, through our moms feeding us. It's really the immune system that's going to keep us alive during the first year or two of life. And then after that, acquired adaptive really is the immune system that starts developing. So the external immune system, the first of the three, skin, mucous membranes, nasal hair, the skin being the largest immune organ of them all. So this skin, how do you support the skin? Well, very simple way to do it. Astringents One astringent, believe it or not, apple cider vinegar, right? You could also brush the skin to get the dead skin off. Helps keep the immune barrier strong. But believe it or not, apple cider vinegar arms, you can kind of just put a little bit on. That's a great way to strengthen that external skin barrier. Stinging nettle is a great herb that's designed to protect the lung barrier. The BALT, the bronchial associated lymphatic or lymphoid tissue that lines from the nasal cavity all the way down through the bronchial cavity, through the lungs, protects us from external foreign invaders or things that could be creating a challenge to our immune system. Stinging nettle helps build up that barrier. Simple herb, stinging nettle. Vitamin D is a very important support nutrient of the immune external barrier, the lungs, known to cut respiratory disease rates in half. Make sure your vitamin D levels are optimized. Very simple way to test that through your traditional blood panels. One of the first things that we do for new patients, we look at vitamin D. It's included, so important, it's included in our new patient examination. We do a blood spot, vitamin D blood spot. So you want to optimize your vitamin D. The optimal range is 80 to 100. Great number to be above 60 or higher. So vitamin D incredibly important for lung, immune system lining support, protection. So those are a few key points in regards to keeping the external immune barrier strong. The next barrier, or the next immune system, we're talking about three kind of subcategories of immunity or immune strengthening. The innate immune system. Now you can look at your innate immune system when you get your traditional CBC, complete blood count. Sometimes it's done with complete blood count with differential, which you get absolute, and then you get your percentages. But on your blood panel, if you've gotten one recently, you probably saw you have on that panel neutrophils, basophils, monocytes, eosinophils. Okay, all of these things are, you have also, sometimes you have dendritic cells in there, mast cells sometimes. These are all your innate immune cells. Very important to understand this picture. But again, this is what you're looking at when you look at your standard blood panel, your standard complete blood count panel. Okay, so again, if you take a look at your most recent panel, neutrophils, lymphocytes, monocytes, eosinophils, basophils. So things like neutrophils, those are 60% when you break it down percentage-wise with the differential. It'll show you the range. About 60 to 70% of all of the immune cells of your innate immune system should be comprised of neutrophils. They are your Marines. They are your special forces. They're first on the ground. If there's any kind of breach, the skin, you get a splinter, you get some kind of major invader coming in, neutrophils on the scene. So you have things like monocytes, which as they enter your tissues become macrophages. These are phagocytes. These are the macrophages are big, large eaters. They go around like Pac-Men, Pac-Men and Pac-Women and gobble things up. You have things like eosinophils and basophils that go after parasites. They go after worms. They go after all kinds of different things that shouldn't be there, creepy crawlies. Things like eosinophils are involved typically with allergic reactions. So all of these are different markers that are measured when you go to get an immune system panel, okay? So you can see these cells, they can be measured, and the way to feed these cells that I just mentioned, one of the simplest ways, whole food source, garlic. Garlic feeds your innate immune system in a very powerful way. In fact, garlic feeds your entire immune system across the board. Things like vitamin C, again, power your special forces, the neutrophils, which should comprise 60 to 70% of your immune system. The food, if you want to call it that, that competes with the receptor sites of vitamin C on your neutrophils, on the membranes of, or the cell membranes of your neutrophils, white refined processed sugar. So if you're a sugar addict, you're going to be crashing your immune system regularly. If you're bringing that stuff in, it's going to compete with vitamin C. And vitamin C is important for a lot of reasons, one of which it is the diesel fuel which powers your innate immune system, primarily the neutrophils, which are the main cells of your innate immune system. Elderberry, zinc, and chamomile. These are the things that build up your innate immune system, primarily your neutrophils, your first line defense. If you get on a plane, you get in a room, you get on a cruise ship, and there's this crud flying everywhere, you go to fly and they seal up the fuselage and you're just getting doused. You're in a jacuzzi, a hot tub of nasty pathogens. But you want to make sure before you get on that plane that you got plenty of zinc, elderberry, building up those neutrophils, garlic, all these things that I'm talking about right now. The other immune cell that is sometimes measured are killer cells, natural killer cells, which are part of your innate immune system. And the primary nutrient or herb that feeds your natural killer cells, which goes after, those cells go after viruses and also cancer cells, mutated cells, echinacea, reishi mushroom extract, and garlic. So those are key players. If you want to get very specific on how you're nurturing and feeding your immune system, those would be the key players. And then the third component or sub category of your immune system, the third immune system is your acquired or adaptive immune system. That's the part of the immune system that learns and remembers, memorizes battles that you fought and produces antibodies, which is a stored memory of the battle that it fought once before. And when it spots that pathogen or that threat that tries to breach your immune system or tries to get in, it's got antibodies or a stored memory of that battle. It's got a game plan ready to go so it can have a swift attack and defeat of that enemy. And that's what that acquired adaptive immune system is for. It remembers how to defeat the enemy, the victory that it once achieved, but now it can do it faster, swifter, and more powerfully because it's got antibodies or stored memory. How do you feed that acquired adaptive immune system that we all have as adults? Quercetin is a phenomenal way. Quercetin found in apples, onions, green tea, and many other foods is a viral killer, and it's a supporter of T cells primarily, which kills viruses and intracellularly and cancer cells. Wormwood is another great natural herb. In many parts of the world, they use it if they don't have ivermectin, which is a malarial drug, a viral killer. They use wormwood. It's a phenomenal antiviral. Vitamin A, rutin, bromelain, and N-acetylcysteine. N-acetylcysteine, or cysteine amino acid, is very powerful. It helps lymphocytes in their quest to kill viruses. It decreases viral load. In the lungs, it decreases the ability of the COVID virus to attach to your lung tissue. It reduces cytokine storm tendencies, overreactions of your immune system. Again, it helps clear out mucus. It just strengthens your immune system across the board. N-acetylcysteine, phenomenal immune support. And then in terms of antibody production and creating a robust memory storage of the battles that your body fights, chaga. Chaga is a great, it's a mushroom extract. And in our office, we have this immune blend, mushroom immune blend, that's got all these reishi, chaga, turkey tail, lion's mane. It's got all the mushroom extracts in there that all across the board support the immune system. Don't boost it. All you can do is really nurture your immune system, and all of these have very specific nurturing effect. And then if you're going to go upstream to where it all starts is in the long bones, the bone marrow, where you have stem cells that differentiate into red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, but primarily what we're talking about, white blood cells. So you have stem cells that differentiate into the leukocytes, and what the white blood cells need, or the stem cells, are really what your bone marrow needs the most to be nurtured. Vitamin D, the most important player all the way upstream in terms of immune system strengthening. Then you have more exotic sounding herbs like astragalus and Romania. Astragalus helps in white blood cell production, stem cell production. Romania helps in the recycling of those stem cells. Two very powerful players in immune system support, primarily all the way upstream in the bone marrow. Vitamin D as well. And then, of course, like feeds like. Okay, so what do I mean by that? If we're talking bone marrow and stem cell production, we're talking bone broth. So if you want a whole food source, bone broth. The best source is chicken bone broth. You can do fish or beef, but you take a whole chicken, crock pot it, liquefy it, and scoop off the broth. And now you have basically, now you're taking all the nutrient, collagen, cysteine, N-acetylcysteine. You have all the sources rich in amino acids, minerals, vitamins. And now when you put it in your body, it's like a bioidentical. Just like, I take a liver supplement, a whole food source liver supplement. And when you bring that in, the body recognizes it and literally it's attracted directly to the liver. The innate wisdom of the body says, oh, I know what that is. That's liver nutrient. And it literally is magnetized directly to the liver. Same thing with bone broth. Your body innately knows, bring it to the bones. And that's why you want to have like chicken soup, chicken broth. Grandma knew best. You bring that in, feeds the bone marrow, increases stem cell production, increases white blood cell production, which stimulates a stronger immune system. How about that? Known it for hundreds of years. Once again, Grandma was right. So bone broth is a great one to bring in as well. So a little bit more on, specifics on how to feed the immune system. I'm going to go ahead and screenshot the picture that I use, that I teach off of. You'll have it in the group. You want to get a hold of this because it's got the specific nutrients that I just mentioned on there. So you can know a specific way to feed your immune system. You'll have all the nutrients I just mentioned. So hopefully that was helpful. Why is chicken broth better than beef? Oh, great question. So it's got chicken broth has a more complete profile of the different collagens. There are different types of collagen, type 1, type 2, type 3, and there's several of them. And chicken has the most complete collagen profile, the most robust supply of branched chain amino acids, full complement of amino acids, but it's mainly the collagen that feeds the bone, and it's got the most complete profile of collagen. Chicken bone broth, or chicken in general, more so than fish or beef. It's a great question. Thank you for asking that. So that's all I got for you today. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully it's helpful. Again, go to the group if you're not part of the group. Many of you are watching this in the group, but if you're not part of our private group, My Family, My Mission in Facebook, then join My Family, My Mission, and you'll be able to get the graphics. So once again, thank you for joining us. Dr. Dan Yachter signing off for news, views, and weekly updates. God bless.